The Spy Who Dumped Me. This is a film that I thought I might not even go see, but when I watched some of the reviews, they said that the action was really good and that the comedy was kind of hit or miss. And with Kate McKinnon in here, I know a lot of people are kind of 50-50 on Kate McKinnon. I thought I'd go give it a try. I wanted to go check out some movies this weekend, so I went to check it out. It stars Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon. Basically, Mila Kunis gets a text from her boyfriend who's broken up with her, and it turns out that he's a spy, and she kind of gets wrapped into his world. You know, he comes back and gets killed, and then she has to kind of finish his mission, is basically, and then Kate McKinnon is her best friend and gets dragged along. That's the basic story of the film. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say right off the bat, if you do not like Kate McKinnon, I don't know if this is going to be the film that turns you around on her, because right out of the gate, like within the opening scene of her, she's very animated and acting full Kate McKinnon for you. So I like her. Like, she was one of my favorite parts in the Ghostbuster movie. But if you don't like her, you may not like this movie for that alone. But I found her funny in this. Sometimes, yes, she's a little more over the top. And even that, I'll admit, that opening scene where in the bar, I was kind of like, ugh, I don't know if I'm going to like this, because she was a little bit too much. Which is funny, because in the movie, Mila Kunis' boyfriend says that she's a little too much. So it's almost like her and her character are the same thing in this movie. But there was times in this movie where I was laughing so hard. There are some crazy scenes in this movie. It's definitely ridiculous. It reminded me a lot of The Hitman's Bodyguard, where it's just crazy over-the-top action. I mean, they're running people over. There's this one fight scene in a cafe that is just freaking incredible, and just people are just dunking heads in fondue fountains and all kinds of crazy stuff. I laughed a lot during those scenes, and I will say the action is shot very, very well. After just going and seeing Mile 22 that had some of the worst action scenes I have ever seen, this movie blew those scenes out of the water, which is insane, because this is like a kind of a comedy, action comedy. And I will say I was the only man in the theater when I went and saw it. It was all women, so this felt like more of a girl action comedy flick. But there was some stuff where I was like, okay, this isn't very funny, and they kind of do the same jokes over and over again, kind of hang on to certain jokes all throughout the movie. There's times where, you know, Mila Kunis' character, stuff will happen and they just kind of move on with it. You know, you kind of have to do that in a comedy. You can't really stay focused. Like, you know, people wouldn't actually react the way that they're acting in this. Mila Kunis sometimes has this kind of, I don't know, meh attitude about life, and it doesn't, you know, show this great acting capability that I don't even know if she's capable of, but some people might think that it's a little bland. But for me, I thought she was okay. I thought Kate McKinnon was pretty good. I thought they had great chemistry together. Like I said, I like Kate McKinnon, so when it got a little overbearing sometimes, I just, you know, it didn't bother me too much. But I'm not going to say this movie was like comedy gold. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not. The action scenes were really good, and it was a fun time. It's definitely worth a rent if you missed this one in theaters. Wait a couple months, go check it out on Netflix or something, because it was pretty funny. I was surprised how much I liked it, actually. So I'm going to give The Spy Who Dumped Me a 3.5 out of 5.